Good afternoon.
Professor Verma, she's Dr. Vinita Tuli, our convener and IQAC in charge. Good to have you, sir. So with your permission, Vinita ma'am, can I start now? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Am I audible? Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Okay. I'm very happy to welcome you all today to day 7 and our lecture 20 to this session of our refresher course. And on behalf of the IQAC and TL and Ramanujan and my convener, Dr. Vinita Tuli, and our Honorable Principal, Professor Gyatosh Kumar Jha, and on behalf of the entire refresher course team, and also on behalf of the all the participants, I am very much delighted and happy to welcome you all to this day 7 lecture 20 of this refresher course on the quintessential educator. And I'm honored to welcome you all to this session. And our next speaker, he's an esteemed speaker, and we are happy to have him here. And I welcome you, Professor Praveen Kumar Verma ji. And I just want to say this, friends, that Professor Verma is going to talk to us on the topic science teaching and research in changing world. And before I give the stage to Professor Verma, it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce you to his work and his profile. Sir has not given me a detailed profile. He just sent me a short profile. So I'm going to just give a short, give you an idea of the short work, precise work that he's been doing. Professor Praveen Verma he's employed in the prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Sir is a professor of cell and molecular biology and the School of Life Sciences. At present, he is also the Director, Research and Development, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Sir is also a concurrent faculty in School of Sanskrit and Indic Studies, Ayurveda Biology. That's very interesting. Before joining JNU, Professor Verma served as a senior scientist and group leader in the prestigious National Institute of Plant Genome and Research, New Delhi, for nearly 21 years. He received his MSc in Life Sciences and PhD degree in Plant Molecular Biology from the Jawaharlal Nehru University, where presently he is also the professor. Professor Verma has a vast experience of nearly 30 years working in the field of plant biotechnology and genomics. His major research interests are plant microbe interactions and biotechnological interventions for generating disease-resistant plants. He has published more than 70 papers in reputed international journals. He has guided 14 PhD students till date and he's very popular among students for his interesting and popular lecture. Professor Verma, I welcome you to this session, and it's a great honor to have you here. And I know how busy you are with so much of responsibilities and so much of work that you do. And sir, welcome, and the stage is yours. So welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Zara. Thank you, Dr. Vinita Tuli and the principal of ARST. It's really a great opportunity for me to interact with all of you. I'm just the topic what he has already mentioned about the things. What I expect that this entire the group of people who are going to listen to my talk are from diverse backgrounds. They may not be in the
yes, they are interdisciplinary. Okay. Yes.
So right. Yeah, so that's why I will not confine myself to only science. Definitely, science teaching is also, similar to that, but science do have a different type of paradigm also. Like they do have a practical classes and other things that I am going to discuss. So maybe, that is just a, the how we can cope up with that. And maybe, in the end, I will give you some idea that even though you are a college teacher or in a university teacher, and right now, if you are not doing research, how you can, go for the research and you can establish your laboratory. Those things are also important to, develop your own career. So that's why I will try to, make my presentation in such a way that it will be beneficial for you to get some of the government funded projects, as well as, to define your own way of, whatever expertise that you do have, what are the different areas that you are working on. So that will also help in the teaching. So, recently what, when we compare to from India to abroad, many, college teachers, in the Indian system, now people have started, they're working in the field of research, even though you are a college teacher. But many, colleges abroad, what I have seen, that they do have a very good system of doing research. So that is also, that we do have to inculcate everything in our scenario. And government is also having many schemes which is going to be suitable for all of you. You can have even though there are some fellowships are also there, where you can, even you have left the active research for sometimes, you can again come back to the active research, especially for the women, the scientists or lecturers. So that I'm going to discuss. So there are so many schemes are there. So on for the women scientists, as well as for the other people also, that we are going to discuss about all those things. Second most important thing that I just wanted to discuss with all of you, that the teaching part. The teaching part is one of the most important factor whenever you are in any college or anything. So now you must have realized that during your time and the present time, the student quality, as well as what they want in their life, that is quite different. So we were not of those kind when I was doing my MSc or PhD. So but now people are here, they are much more career oriented. They want to earn some money out of that. So those things also matters whenever you are teaching in those things. So there are so many things that you can tell to your students. By if you are a science student, how you can even though you are not going in the typical teaching background, so you can have many different avenues by which you can make your career in the field of the entrepreneurship, as well as many government schemes are also there where we can join such type of things in the future. So I will just I just want to share mostly the science people, whenever they try to present something, they always present with a slide presentation. So and this is a new normal also. So I'm just going to present everything. So now you can see my can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so the science teaching and research in changing world is that is my topic. So let's first we should define the science is knowledge, not for things but for their relations. And this is very, very true nowadays, because the it's not remain just like a science. It's basically is a amalgamation of the many things together, which comes from diverse fields. So what we call as the interdisciplinary science is now is the present day the picture, and this another the saying is that science is built up of facts. In a house is built up of stones, but an accumulation of the fact is no more science than a heap of stones in a house. So this is one of the important the saying in this by Henry, and it's very very important that we should define our goals. So the goals is that that if you are doing what you love, then isn't not really work. Basically, is whenever you are doing anything you love. So whatever if you are teaching, that should be that is in such a way that it should be just it should be your love towards the teaching, and even you can come out of that. In my opinion, if you can generate some of the good students, suppose if you're in your class there are 50 students, so out of those at least if we can develop or inculcate something in at least 10 to 15 students, you are very very successful. So it's always try to make your goal in those lines. So there whenever you are in a science, so there are two traditional paths to go in the science. This is I'm giving you this idea because whenever your students are also asking these questions that where we can go. So most of the time, so whenever you do MSc or PhD, it's a general notion that you are going to the academics, but there you can go in academia as well as industry. So how all these industries are also important for and being as a being a faculty in a college or university, also you can be part of startups that I'm going to discuss today. So it's not that you have to be resign from one thing and go. There are so many schemes are now there where you can go for the have active collaboration, as well as the part of the industry that now because of those the mudra loans, and many startups are coming up in our country, and government is right now they are having making an ecosystem to develop such type of things, where the university faculty and teachers as well as the college teachers, they can join in those things, give their ideas, can become like a mentor of those things. You can take your one of the students and who can have their own startup where you can become a mentor. So these are some of the avenues that you may not be aware of or may be aware of that. So that's why it's my duty to tell you all these things that where you can go. So right now in this changing world, there is coming to the science is not only the academia. So you can go in other field as well as. So there are so many things are there in the science, we call it a science structure in India. So mainly the central government science and technology departments like DST, DBT, and many if you are in the physics, many the chemistry, many other places they are there, by which you can take a grant and you can start your work along with your teaching responsibility in your college or university. So these are that's one of the things. Then state government science and technology department courses are also there. Many states do have a very good and well developed science and technology department and courses many of when I visit to some places in South India, even in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, in all those places, the very good science and technology departments are already there. They give fundings to the for the lecturers and the university teachers for doing their research. So those things can be contacted. So besides that, there are some places like Government of India has already started some of the, if you are from the Northeast region. So there are some of the fellowships are already there. So you can just look for those things where you can get some of the funding opportunities in Northeast region based upon your the work which is related to some of the Northeast region problems. So what you can do is that you can have an active collaboration with if you are from Northeast region, you can become you can take as one of the mentor or mentor laboratory in the other part of other than Northeast area of our country, and then you can apply for those things. So such type of opportunities are also there in the case of science. And the universities, independent R&D institutes and autonomous organizations are also there. So many universities has such type of R&D institutes are there. Suppose if you are in any university, you can have. Now the things are interdisciplinary. If suppose if you are in a medical the field which is your research interest is in medical science. So you can, if you in your university, if somebody is having expertise in, suppose it's a nanotechnology, and nanotechnology is, suppose it is there in the engineering department, you can definitely collaborate and develop those things. So what I mean to say that it's not that right now the government of India is, and most of the funding agencies are preferring such type of the funding opportunities. So it's always better to have a good collaboration, networking type of programs. If you can be a part of the such type of networking type of programs, that will be really helpful for you for coming for the science education and research. So, and then the science and technology non-governmental organization, although in India is very in a primitive stage, still, what when we compare to the Western world or in United States of America, they do have many non-governmental organizations as well as in-house, the private industries, they do funding, but in India, such type of things has not got, developed in that way. But still, that the last year, there was near about 27% of growth in this particular area has been noticed in India also. So we hope for the best. Besides that, there are so many things like Atal incubation centers and the university innovation councils. Those are also there in the many universities. Like in JNU is there. I'm a member of. I'm the director of that program also. And many places, many IITs, even in many places in Odisha, South India, many places there are so many incubators are there, which is established in a university. So you can definitely, take such type of programs. You can there are so many programs, like if you are in a biological science, there is a program is called as a BIREC program by the Department of Biotechnology. There is also a program is called a PACE program, PACE program, where you can definitely get the funding of for 1.5 years. It's near about 50 lakhs they can provide you, and they can give you the in that case you are not only getting some amount of funding from that. Besides that, you can employ 2 or 3 of your students in that particular thing. So such type of things are already there. So you can become as a mentor. PACE program, suppose if you have the proof of concept of any any new innovation or anything is there, you can definitely go for such type of DST or DBT PACE programs. There you can become as a mentor or the advisor to that company. You collaborate with that company. The company can be a startup, and you can definitely develop such type of thing. People are coming in such type of things in a great way. Then, the one most important thing that you maybe, since I'm right now, I'm giving the ideas for the science people, but I'm telling you that even social sciences people have lots of opportunity in this, and is called as a social entrepreneurship. This is a new field. You can just, in the even the incubators, the social entrepreneurships is also coming up very nicely, and you can definitely go get some of the fundings, get some of the research, set up some of the companies. So such type of things that you can do in the case of social entrepreneurship. So this is one of the important field nowadays, which everybody can come together. So I do have one, I'm involved in developing one of the project in Jawaharlal University, where the people from the Ayurveda biology, which I am right now teaching, with the traditional the knowledge people, like that in the tribal people do have some of the medicinal property that they know about, some of the products which is found in jungles or in the higher altitude. So those things that we are taking from those things. Some of the NGOs are also involved. Scientists are also involved. Engineering, one of the engineering person is also involved, and we have also involved 2% from AIMS and 1% from the Medical College of Lucknow. I mean, it's KGMC, it's earlier called as I know some new name has come. So those we have developed. So even the social scientists, they do have such type of things. Why I'm telling you that if you think about the traditional knowledge in India is tremendous. I mean, the traditional knowledge is also that when I can tell you one very important fact. That I was a member of one of the institute scientific advisory board of in Northeast in Manipur, that is the IBSD. So there, that when I went there, I was listening to one of the seminars of one of the scientists who was presenting, and then we went to the nearby areas for village visits and other things. What I found that life expectancy is very high in those areas. Some people are you can see even 90 years, 95 years people in North India or South India. If you see that they are mostly on the bed. But there, the people are just moving around. So what we found that that they use lots of fermented foods, and so fermented fish, fermented the bamboo shoots and other things. And what we have found that one of the scientists, he has isolated the bacteria which is associated with those, and you will be surprised to know that out of many bacteria that he has isolated, 6 of the bacteria were actually pathogenic to human being. And if we will take that food, we will be probably sick. But they are not getting sick. In fact, they are getting immune. So that's why I'm giving you just the example that each part of our country do have a very good traditional knowledge, which we can definitely take advantage of that thing. Develop a program if wherever you are with the local things. So that will be giving you some idea for doing some type of research in the future, and that is good for not only for the science, it is good for the society as well. So think locally. And I mean the local for vocal, that one the statement is by our Prime Minister. So I think it's always think locally. Like I can tell you that there are some programs that I'm involved is on the calm diseases of the saffron. So saffron, so where if I want to work on saffron, I cannot work in Delhi. I have to collaborate with some people in Kashmir or some places where so I have already collaborated, and we have to have 3-4 publication, and this is going to be some boost to those farmers, and they are very happy when we have done. Besides that, we have already started some of the the tissue culture techniques and other things for the comb disease of the saffron. So those things that we are definitely. So that's why I'm telling you that each part of our country. I'm just giving you 2 examples, but there are so many things that each part of the country is, in this great country, each part of the country, they do have their own specialty. Take those specialty. I think government, I'm in many committees of the funding for who are giving the fundings for the research. Those people are coming together and giving such type of, they are getting funding. So in my opinion, you all should try to develop a networking type of programs. Chances of getting a program where there is a networking, where even because most of the research is now interdisciplinary. Okay, so this is very, very important. There's one institute in Nagpur which is on the working on the environment and working on some of the bacteria. They do have some one project. I think near about 10 years back, I was there in the meeting there, and what I found that they were working on some of the bacteria which is degrading the sewage, which is related to the some of the countries of Europe. So those bacteria will never work in India. So because the sewage and everything in Indian condition is quite different compared to those things. So it's always better. That's why I try to make give emphasis on this thing, that you always try to make sure that you are working on something which is local to yourself, and try to take the even ethnobotany, ethnological people, sociologists, many such type of behavioral people should come together along with the scientists, and then you can develop a very good knowledge in best, as well as you can serve for the society. So the higher education in the fast changing world is basically you all know that is because of the work, technology, and interconnectedness and environment. So that's why whenever we discuss about that placing the new demand of our students, they must be ready for the future, better equipped to solve the complex interdisciplinary problems. That's why I'm giving emphasis on the interdisciplinary problems, and they're able to bring fresh perspective to global challenges as well as the Indian challenges, and motivated to become leader in the chosen field. So that is very, very important for all of us. So besides that, we all of us are also involved in the teaching. So you all know that the teaching in COVID times is very, very difficult, and now is technology oriented teaching. So there will be many people they were not able to teach earlier by using a different type of modules which is available in the online platform. We have all learned. Maybe you all have learned during this pandemic time. So probably this is the time when we have learned some new things. Let's use this technology. Let's that at least what I am predicting, like next the even the pandemic will be gone, we are going to use this type of technology at least for next 10 years, for near about 40 to 50% of this type of technology for our teaching purposes. So this is important that we have learned many things in this pandemic, and the technology, that student response. Most of the time, student response is very, very poor. It was very, very poor in the beginning, but later on they have also understood the way that we are teaching. But still, that the universities and colleges. I do have discussed with my daughter who is in Delhi University, and she also feel that so many times the teacher they just narrate something, There's no the question answer, and nothing is of that kind. So this is also very very boring kind of things. Sometimes you'll feel that you are talking to a wall. So this is also one of the things that we can very important for to understand this. So there are some pros and cons of this COVID time for the teaching purpose. So most important thing is that whenever we talk about the teaching in science, is that science practical is very important, and this is one of the important thing which our students are missing nowadays. So in Jawaharlal Nehru University School of Licenses, we have developed some certain modules, and for because such type of practicals you cannot do or in the some of the practicals like you can do by online, but definitely the writing codes and other things that you can do online. But the practicals, if you are using the gel electrophoresis in the laboratory, you cannot do online. So what we have done is that we have made a online, the live classes of the practicals, and that has really helped our student. When we talk to our student, not over the last 3 semesters, I have not met any students, but definitely whenever we meet on the online platform, they are very happy because they are having such type of things. So maybe such type of things that you all can be developed. Project work is also related to some of the MSc practicals, so that is also important. One most important thing that I am finding difficulty is the evaluation system. Maybe we are evolving in this particular regard. Whenever you are giving the questions and how they are responding, that is also very important. That how they actually sometimes the exchange with WhatsApp some of the answers, and so whenever you try to evaluate their answer sheet, you will find that all the answers are almost same, or at least 2-3 that you can make out that they have exchanged their views together or over WhatsApp or even the online. So it's a very difficult time. So what is my opinion is that we can develop certain type of the innovative evaluation systems. Like we have developed some of the innovative evaluation system. Like we have given in the science, we have given the research article which has published long back, and we try to make the some questions out of those things so that the student will read and then they will write. The such type of things you all can think over it. This is some interesting way you can give a article, try it to them, and then ask them whether they can write a title of that, they can write an abstract out of that. So such type of things that abstract of 300 words or 200 words if they can write. So such type of things will be giving you some them also some of the benefit, as well as it will help you in evaluation of such type of things. So students are basically, they are smarter than us, even though whatever way that we put forward the evaluation system, they may be not taking some of the some ideas. They are smarter than us. So one important thing is that time for e-learning. That the NEP has also started, the new education policy also started this e-learning. In Jawaharlal University, we have already started the e-learning platform, and e-learning, the one department is also there, and many schools are now developing their e-learning, the curricula and other things. A few things has already come in Korean and many other languages. So that we are going to prefer. Now, the most important things that like some of the online courses development should be there. So you people can get involvement yourself involved in such type of online courses. Even the such type of courses, even that will help in the for your promotion, as well as if you are going in the other places, leaving this place and going to other place, maybe you will get this all things actually gives you some advantage, for your jobs as well. As well as the interdisciplinary science is also important. So this is one of the most important things which has come out from the new education policy, where interdisciplinary, like one person from the science can take a course in the Hindi department. From Hindi department, one person can take a class in the history department, and the history department can take a class in Ayurveda biology class. So such type of things is the interdisciplinary courses one need to develop, and this is a practically is very important. And if you go abroad, it's already many places you can, even though if you are engineering student, you can take a course in the social sciences, sociology, anthropology, such type of courses that you can take. So try to develop certain type of interdisciplinary courses. There are some difficulties ahead, but we have to cope up with this. Probably this is the biggest learning that we have got during this pandemic period, and many things that we have learned in this pandemic period. Jisko kehte hain na, we got some sort of moksha type ke prapti. So such type of things we have got in this pandemic period, that we have to now think about the society, because it's very, very important nowadays, because it's such type of diseases and other things, pandemic is coming, is not only the doctors and other people, many places, even engineers are involved, many people, social people, everything is involved in that. You must have experienced all these things. So the difficulties are ahead. So another point always I talk about is the learning from our glorious past. Science in ancient India is quite developed. I do have a big lecture schedule on this science in ancient India, but since I don't have time, I cannot go in the detail of that. But definitely you can, there are so many things you can learn from our own text of ancient India, and how we can take these knowledge to science teaching and research. This is also very, very important. So you all have understood that now everybody is talking about, for the immunity boosting, they all are talking about the kadha of the aloe vera, I mean the what do you call this, some of the ashwagandha and many other things. Nobody right now talked about boost is the secret of my energy, or the Bonvita or anything. So let's we should feel proud of our traditional knowledge. Let's do some research in this particular field, because this has, why it has not come to the forefront, because of the research which was lacking, and it's traditionally that we are lacking in this particular field. So the education culture is changing. World is basically, there's a paradigm shift in that science teaching, the regaining the science culture, and the new normal of the science teaching is now very important, that I have already discussed about. So I'm not going to about the policies and other things of science and policy development, because the time is going to be over. So I will take some time to for the question and answer. So the few more things that I just wanted to discuss is that evidence-based teaching is good for science teaching. So I think all should try. Even what I find that even our books are very, very flat type of things. People don't get much more interest in that. I can tell you, if you are from the science background, or even though not in the science background, you must have read it during your 10th and +2, that most boring part of the biological science was the chapter was the evolution. The evolution, the chapter is the most boring. But nowadays it's become so interesting. So it's always better to teach the people that, so that they can develop some sort of evidence in best teaching, that will develop some sort of interest in that particular field. So that is my the urge to all of you. As well as the integration of research and education is very, very important. So don't think that I'm just going in the morning and teaching the students, coming back. Try to incorporate some sort of the research in your teaching. So that will help you as well as the students. So it's always, so I think I have already discussed about the opportunities and other things which we do have in right now in our country. So modern I'm just skipping all these things. Policies also I'm skipping. So there I'm just non-academic collaboration I was talking about. So the many things are you can have a collaboration with industries as well. Even though you are not in the field of science, you can have so many things that you can have a collaboration in the research and development, product management, quality and control assurance management, human resources, technical sales and marketing, technical writing, consultancy, business development, and equity research. So such type of things. So since I'm from biological science, so bioentrepreneurship is now coming up very nicely, and many places in IITs and other places, and even many universities, they do have the incubation center, and these bioentrepreneurship entrepreneurship is very good. There is no age bar. You can start right from your passing your graduation to your if you have 50 years or 55 years age, you can definitely start this type of entrepreneurship. So I do have 2-3 slides more, which I always give whenever I give any such type of lecture, is that how to motivate yourself, which is very, very important. So first thing is that enjoy and feel your work. That is most important. Learn from your mistakes, whatever you have done, you can learn from your mistake. Take the failures positively and take a break and rejuvenate yourself in case of failures. So this is a very, very important. I think I can tell you, all of you, that you must have some sort of your hobby in your the student time. So that time you must have some of the hobby. You try to develop some of the such type of hobby which can break and rejuvenate yourself. So like I am also I am a wildlife photographer also. So whenever I find the time, I go to jungle, click photograph of birds and the animals, tigers and other things. I feel rejuvenated. So such type of things you must have. So that will help you in the teaching. Why I am telling you that if you go to many places in Europe, even in Germany, they give you compulsory break, 15 days, 1 month, compulsory break. So that's why that will give you actually for rejuvenation. That is very, very important. And always that I have already discussed. Think big. Like for which is big and novel. Think as for the present time, situation and demand. Think something to transform your society. This is very, very important that I am telling. Even though you are not from the science background, think something which you can transform your society. This is very, very important for all of you. This is important to achieve your goals to transform India. Thank you very much. You can write to me on this email. If you have any question, you can definitely ask.
Thank you, Professor Verma. I'll just click this, just so that we can just share it with our. Thank you, Professor Praveen ji. I think it was a wonderful lecture, and we have some questions coming. I'll be taking that, but before that, I would like to comment and just make some points. You very nicely raised some very valid points, and especially what motivated me was that the points that you raised, that how we should motivate ourselves and how to enjoy and feel your work and learn from your mistakes. I think these are the 3 magical points that you, very valid and magical points, I would say, you raised, because unless and until you don't love your work, you're not going to you're not going to enjoy it, and you have to enjoy your work. And you very nicely and very simply elaborated on the changing scenario in pandemic, the teaching changing scenario, how research and development is going to see some changes, and definitely you also did not withheld yourself from citing the problems also that we are going to face at one point, where we are welcoming the changes that are happening, but at the other point we are also trying to face the problems that we are going to face and try to solve that problem. And Professor Praveen, let me tell you that this entire refresher program was designed in order to understand that kind of a scenario, also the changing teaching learning scenario, and I think you really added a lot to that. Now I'll just uh, go to and I also really like the concept of taking a break, compulsory break, that we educators need. And I know that your love for the wildlife photography, that's great, and you really have some very good photography that you have done. So that's also interesting to know that we all should also inculcate a hobby. And I'll just take some questions, sir. There's one question coming from Radhika Khanna. She's asking, please enlighten us about the various startup grants for science college faculty. I think she's from science, so yeah, maybe you can just give a short.
Very.
You're the right person for that.
So she is in biological science or in the.
I can't unmute her, but she specifically mentioned science startup grant for college.
So many such type of you try to find out. You just write one the term Atal Innovation Centers that nearby you, and wherever you are, and you try to contact them. So there are government schemes are also there along with those.
So sorry to interrupt. She's from chemical sciences.
Chemicals, no problem. Yeah. So you can definitely, even though you are from chemical science, you this is interdisciplinary. I am right now, that I was past 6 years I was a member of one of the committee which gave for the entrepreneurship by the Department of Biotechnology. There I find that mostly the engineering students as well as the chemical people, they are coming together, and that's why I give you emphasis on the interdisciplinary type of the projects that will be very, very good. So in my opinion, there are some, you just contact to those things. If you are in Delhi, there is one such type of incubator is there in the IIT Delhi, and you can contact to them. Probably they will help you in this regard for getting some of the fundings. So funding is you can get for 1.5 years. Some people you can have 2-3 people you can have. You can make a mentor and you can apply for those things. There is a rigorous screening process also. You have to present, you have to defend your proof of concept. So there is startups, definitely you can get it's lots of opportunity. I mean, it's a huge opportunity has come up in the last 2-3 years.
Thank you, Praveenji. Professor Praveen, there are good comments also coming. Anita Singh ji Kerry, thank you, sir, for such an informative lecture. Dr. Sudhai Singh, excellent session. There is one question from Dr. Gopal Kumar. मैं उनका प्रश्न पढ़ देती हूँ, प्रवीण जी. प्रवीण जी, ये जो आपने स्लाइड में फोटो शेयर किया, ये क्या आप ही का क्लिक है? The picture that you have, ये जो the elephants.
Elephants, yeah, मेरा क्लिक है. This is in Girna zone, Jim Corbett.
Wow, lovely, wonderful.
So okay. This I have clicked on 27th of March this year.
Beautiful, so, lovely. So coming back to Gopal ji's, Dr. Gopal Kumar's question, मैं पढ़ देती हूँ. गोपाल कुमार जी कह रहे हैं, सर ने विज्ञान और मानविकी के मेल से संबंधित कई संभावनाओं पर विचार किया. साथ ही सर ने कोरोना काल में शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में तकनीक के प्रयोग पर भी बात की. टेक्नोलॉजी ने टीचिंग के क्षेत्र में शिक्षकों को बहुत सहायता दी है, लेकिन क्या ऑनलाइन टीचिंग से विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में लेबोरेटरी की आवश्यकता की पूर्ति की जा सकती है? क्या बिना प्रयोगशाला के विज्ञान के विद्यार्थी अपने विषय को अच्छी तरह सीख पाएंगे? ये गोपाल जी का प्रश्न है।
बहुत ही अच्छा प्रश्न है, और ये शायद बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं कि इस तरह का अब बिल्कुल हम लोग साइंस की जो टीचिंग है, मैंने इस चीज को मेंशन भी किया था कि साइंस की टीचिंग में बहुत मुश्किल है अगर आप किसी भी तरह से आप ऑनलाइन टीचिंग में ही सिर्फ कर रहे हैं। सो मुझे लगता है कि आगे जो है बहुत सारे केसेस में इस तरह की चीजें हमें डेवलप करनी पड़ेगी। देखिए, टीचिंग 2-3 लेवल की है। एक टीचिंग जो है आपको ग्रेजुएशन लेवल की है, एक जो है टीचिंग है आपको पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन, और एक जो पीएचडी वाले लेवल की। तो पीएचडी वाले लेवल के लिए तो बिल्कुल ही आपको नहीं चाहिए, ऑनलाइन चलेगा नहीं। बट आपको बाकी चीजों में बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें आ सकती हैं, जहां पर आप कुछ नए इनोवेटिव करके कुछ दिनों तक काम कर सकते हैं। फिर भी उसका कोई रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है। आप बिल्कुल सही फरमा रहे हैं कि उसका कोई रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है कि आपको किसी भी तरह से आपको लेबोरेटरी जाना ही पड़ेगा अगर उस फील को पाना है। क्योंकि आप देखकर बहुत सारे, आजकल तो यूट्यूब पर बहुत सारे वीडियोस भी रहते हैं बहुत सारे एक्सपेरिमेंट के, बट उससे आप वो चीज नहीं सीख सकते हैं जो खुद करके सीखते हैं। सही।
हाँ, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही फरमाया। और आई थिंक प्रोफेसर प्रवीण ने इस बात को भी हाईलाइट किया था अपने लेक्चर में कि किस तरह का प्रॉब्लम्स होता है, जैसे इवैल्यूएशन की आप जो बात कर रहे थे। तो इसी को कंटिन्यू किया है प्रोफेसर प्रवीण जी, गोपाल कुमार जी ने जो आप बात बोल रहे हैं, उन्होंने कुछ फिर लिखा है, मैं एक बार पढ़ देती हूँ। कोरोना काल में टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से टीचिंग में तो बहुत सहायता मिली है, लेकिन ऑनलाइन एग्जाम एवं इवैल्यूएशन के क्षेत्र में ज्यादा सहायता नहीं मिल पाई है। आई थिंक यू वेरी पर्टिनेंटली पॉइंटेड आउट दैट। क्या ऑफलाइन एग्जाम ही बड़े पैमाने पर एकमात्र विकल्प है, ये गोपाल कुमार जी कह रहे हैं। एंड
ये इसमें बहुत सारे इस तरह से, अभी आपको जिसको हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी, तो इस तरह से बहुत सारे ऐसे चीजें आई हैं। अभी आपको एक चीज मैं बता दूं कि कुछ ऐसे भी वेबसाइट आए हैं और ऐसे भी कुछ नए जो आपको स्टार्टअप्स का ही काम किया हुआ है कि इसमें क्या करते हैं कि आपको जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं जो स्टूडेंट आपस में जिसमें शेयर ना कर सके, वो क्वेश्चन एक टाइम में एक क्वेश्चन आएगा आपका जब आप लॉग इन करेंगे। और इस तरह के आपको ऑनलाइन प्रोग्राम्स लोगों ने ऑलरेडी बना लिए, और वो उनके क्वेश्चंस के जो जो सीरियल्स भी होते हैं, वो 1 नंबर का क्वेश्चन किसी को तीसरे नंबर का मिलेगा, किसी को 5वें नंबर का मिलेगा, ऐसा भी बना लिया लोगों ने। तो इस तरह के बहुत सारे टेक्निक आ रहे हैं। ठीक है, मतलब यही मैं बताया कि इस कोरोना काल में हम लोगों ने इस चीज को भी शायद ये आवश्यकता पड़ने पर हम लोगों ने इस चीज को लाया है। तो ऐसे ही बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जिसको हम कर सकते हैं। जो इवेल्युएशन, बिल्कुल सही आप कह रहे हैं कि इवेल्युएशन जो है सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में। आप किसी को भी इवेल्युएशन में क्या करेंगे और किस तरह से आप करेंगे, ये बहुत मुश्किल है इस तरह से करना कि आप अगर आपका क्लास बहुत बड़ा क्लास है और उसमें इस तरह का कुछ भी करना बहुत मुश्किल काम होता है, मुझे भी लगता है।
नहीं, बिल्कुल। थैंक यू प्रवीण जी, दैट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंगली एंड वेरी नाइसली पुट। हम सबकी जो गौर फिक्र है वो सेम है, वी ऑल शेयर द सेम दिस थिंग। ये शांति भूषण जी का एक सवाल है, सर, हैज टीचिंग ऑफ साइंस किल्ड द रिलीजन and God? He's mentioned both in the West, and India is to follow the same path. Is it good for society? ये उनकी खुद की राय है और वो इस पे आपसे रोशनी चाहते हैं।
इस पर अलग से एक लेक्चर दे दें। मैं इसको थोड़ा सा ये इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में रखे, कभी इस पर अलग से लेक्चर हो सकता है। मैं बहुत अच्छा इस पर जानकारी रखता हूँ कि साइंस और रिलीजन को आप किस तरह से करते हैं। बहुत सारे इसमें चीजें हैं, अभी इस पर आज ना जाए तो अच्छा।
Yeah, Professor Praveen, we are going to note this, and I hope our convener has noted this point. Maybe in future when we can have a separate lecture of yours, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि आपने इस पे बहुत काम किया है और this is one of your favorite field that you are working on. And ये अगला एक क्वेश्चन है, सुनीता चंद जी का है, कंप्यूटर साइंस से है, वो ये पूछ रही हैं, आई थिंक शी वांट्स सम इंफॉर्मेशन, आई जस्ट रीड इट आउट।
इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर में वो
हाँ सर, सपोर्ट फ्रॉम अटल इनोवेशन इज फॉर टेक्निकल इंस्टीट्यूट ओनली, और कैन फैकल्टी फ्रॉम नॉन टेक्निकल कॉलेजेस कैन आल्सो अप्लाई फॉर इट?
Anybody can, even though you don't have any job, you can apply in that. Anybody can. You should have some idea. That is very, very important.
what is
some
the
idea, some proof of concept, you just contact them. They will be giving you the place, everything. You can, for a startup, for 1.5 years, near about 18 months, they will support you for everything. They will support in the writing, so they will support in the developing the company. They will support in the marketing strategies and other things. Everything they will be supporting. Anybody.
That's very interesting to know. And there is one question from Anuj Lugun. He is asking, मैं पढ़ देती हूँ उनका प्रश्न सर. सर आपको सुनना बहुत अच्छा लगा, शुक्रिया. सर मैं विज्ञान का विद्यार्थी नहीं हूँ, मैं साहित्य का विद्यार्थी हूँ. मैंने आदिवासी साहित्य पर शोध किया है. आपने अपने व्याख्यान में आदिवासी ज्ञान परंपरा का संदर्भ लिया, ये मेरे लिए उत्साहित करने वाला है. सर मेरी जिज्ञासा है कि आदिवासी ज्ञान परंपरा को आधुनिक विज्ञान और तकनीकों से कैसे जोड़ा जा सकता है. इस संबंध में आपसे व्यक्तिगत स्तर पर भी बात करना चाहूंगा. सादर अनुज लुगुन. अनुज लुगुन, आप शायद आप सर का कांटेक्ट और ईमेल आप नोट कर लीजिए. वी विल आल्सो शेयर इट ऑन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप एंड आई थिंक ही इज द राइट पर्सन बिकॉज़ ही हैज बीन वर्किंग ऑन दिस. सर प्लीज, प्रोफेसर वर्मा, द क्वेश्चन.
ये बहुत, ये तो मुझे लगता है ये बिल्कुल मैंने मेरे लेक्चर का आज मुझे लगता है सक्सेसफुल लेक्चर है कि जिससे मैं इस तरह के लोगों को भी, सबको मैं अपने साइंस के साथ जोड़ के स्टार्ट किया. तो ये बहुत ही अच्छा है. ये इसमें आदिवासी ज्ञान परंपरा में हमारे बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं, ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज जिसको कहते हैं, जिसको हम लोग अपने जो सोसाइटी के लिए और इसके लिए हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं. और ये पूरा भरा पड़ा हुआ है इंडिया में, हर कोने में. everywhere you will see that some this type of knowledge is there. So I think it's very important. Let's talk together, Anuj. We will be discussing.
Thank you, Professor Verma. And I think ये जो आपने बात कही interdisciplinary this thing, जो एक science का, I mean I'm really intrigued and I'm very interested that you've been working in this area, and it's very interesting to see that someone who's from the science background, usually यही होता है कि science is not about traditionalism or anything, but you're interconnecting it with traditional knowledge. मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, आप अगर थोड़ा सा हमारे participants को बताएं, Professor Verma, you worked on some, I remember there was some mention about the gram chana. उस पे आप
I'm working.
Yeah, can you just mention about it, because since we are talking about traditional.
I'm working on some of the diseases of the gram chana. I mean it's chickpea we call it. So that we are working on one of the disease of tea which you drink, and I am also working on one of the disease of that I have already discussed about the saffron. So that all these three things that I'm working right now in JNU. I have started working on in the field of one of the disease of which is very, very important for the eastern part of our country, that is a disease of wheat. So that I am working on that. And besides that, my idea is to work on mainly the fungal diseases and the fungus from where we can extract something from the fungus. Right now I got a project on one of the traditional knowledge that you all know, that is called as a kida jadi, that you must have heard about that. That's called so that we have got from the Chamoli district of Uttarakhand, and we have already started working on those lines. So this is also actually helps in the many things. So what I am right now working is that I am working with one of my friend who is having knowledge in the field of cancer biology. So I'm trying to prospect those things in the traditional knowledge into the treatment of the cancer.
That's very interesting, and thank you for sharing that knowledge, Professor Verma. छाया रानी जी का कमेंट आया है, बहुत ही ज्ञानवर्धक व उत्तम व्याख्यान था सर. सुनीता चंद जी ने शुक्रिया अदा किया है, थैंक यू सर फॉर सच एन एनलाइटनिंग टॉक। अनुज लुगन जी ने भी अपना शुक्रिया अदा किया है, जो ट्रेडिशनल और आदिवासी साहित्य पे जिस पे उनका प्रश्न था। सर मेरा एक प्रश्न है कि यू नो व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ट्रेडिशनल दिस थिंग, तो मैं थोड़ा सा ये जानना चाहूंगी कि is it easily accessible to you as a science researcher and person? Is there any problem that you face? Because at times traditional knowledge is a bit of secured in their own zone. So क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है?
This is a very good question that you have raised. Say ethnomedicine that we call,
Yes,
ethnomedicine, which is very very important now, and you must have realize that they don't share all this information to other people. So maybe sometimes they feel that maybe it is but whatever is there, whatever they want to share, you can just try. That's why I always tell that they collaborate with a local person, so it's always better. So like for getting getting this cordyceps or kida jadi from the Chamoli district, I had to because it's a bank, that nobody can take, outside person can take from there. So usually so I contacted one of the pradhan of that village who involved in that, and they sent me in a sweet ka box, mithai ke dabbe mein rakh ke, and then they sent to me. So 2-3 things, although I work on that. So such type of things, they definitely you face lots of problems. But I can tell you many places if you go in the Chhattisgarh or in the Madhya Pradesh area, or even in Northeast area, if you just move around to local market, you will get some of such type of things in the market. So the local market and the person who is sitting there, maybe selling those the products, they know everything. You just talk to them. So in Manipur and Nagaland, I have discussed with those people. I've got some of the ideas from those people, that how they are actually doing all these things. For some suppose some the route is that they do have, and you just ask that what is it's called locally, and then they can tell you that what is the important. So you can ask them. It's very easy to ask them. They just want money, so you just such type of traditional knowledge you can definitely get. If you can have a student who is from that particular area, that is really good. You ask that a student to go to those areas, although that is not very ethically, that is very right, but they can definitely get some of the ideas which may be helpful to not only to those tribes, but the outside of our country also. I think
I think Dr. Syed Mubin Zehra has lost a connection.
Connections, yeah.
Yeah. But I can see there are no more questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining and sharing your views. So we are really grateful that you spared your valuable time with us.
So there is one question.
Yeah. So
what is the effect of curcumin in ER and PR positive cancers? The curcumin. So there are so many the studies of all these things. Ethnomedicine we call as there's a journal also where you can get this type of I think Radhika Khanna has asked. So this is a very very important. Curcumin has a very good the efficacy in these type of cancers. So there are so many papers are there. I'm not in the field of cancer, but I do have a few of my friends where I discuss all these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for this informative session. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Mubin, have you joined? Sir, a minute. She's joining from phone.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Abid, make Mubin ma'am the co-host for the official vote of thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Something.
No problem. No problem.
So sir is there.
This is also a problem of online teaching.
Yes.
You know, that many times when I'm teaching in JNU, so many students are there from the different part of the country. So what happens, like they say that somebody is in village, sir मेरे पास तो अभी आज आ नहीं रहा है network, so मैं आज कर नहीं सकती हूँ class. इस type से. Sometimes people do have just one mobile phone in their house. So that is also very, very difficult for them.
I don't know. I've done so many. Suddenly, everything just went. So I just connected with my phone, Professor Verma. Vinita ma'am, आप जो आदेश दें बताइए जैसे भी.
There are no more questions. You give the official vote of thanks.
Okay. Professor, thank you, ma'am. I'm so sorry about this glitch that happened. Professor Verma, it was an extremely enlightening experience for us, and I would say that you really opened a window to the different vistas of science also to us, especially through your research interests and the kind of work that you're doing. And I would not find myself, elaborating or saying it in big words, that I think you're an asset to this science community, where people like you are working silently for on so many areas. Thank you for this enlightening lecture, and we really wish and we hope that we have you in future also on various issues that you said you could discuss with us and give a lecture on this. And on behalf of my honorable principal, Professor Gyantosh Kumar Jha, my convener, Dr. Tuli, Vinita Tuli, my co-convener, Dr. Anjali Gupta, my entire team, the IQAC, and the entire refresher committee, and on behalf of the entire participants community which is here, which are from all over India. They are participating thanks to the online platform. And thanking you again for taking out time and joining us and giving such an interesting and such a delightful and window opening area opening lecture for us, where we could also delve into so many issues that are so common to all of us through a scientific perspective. It was extremely an honor to have you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. And I'm really sorry about that last minute glitch. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.